everyone. In this module, we'll be discussing about the functions of 5G NR physical layer. This is module number 3. So the main functions of 5G NR physical layer has been depicted over here through the image. So this image has been referred from the physical module of for downlink shared source, which is going to be ETSI 2020B of 5.2.1/1. So this is the main reference that has been taken. So over here we are going to majorly see two different channels, that is the MAC layer and the physical layer. So these two layers have been seen over here, wherein basically the MAC layer or the MAC scheduler at the gNB, this is at the gNB side, and we are going to have the other end, that is going to be UE side. At the gNB side, if we start with, that is the MAC scheduler at the gNB maps the logical transport channel to the resources, that is in the time frequency, such that to the antenna part, and then it is going to help us in choosing the MCS. It is helping us in choosing the MCS. Then it is going to assign the HARQ over here, the process IDs and the timings for that, and applies the priority and the QoS rules. Then it is going to handle the LC map and also the power grants. So the scheduler is going to help us in determining the transport block size, wherein the MCS, which is going to help us in understanding the spectral efficiency and also the time frequency slots that has been used. So this is the main function of the MAC scheduler that has been discussed. So other than that, we are going to see the CRC attach and the transport block handling, wherein the physical layer is going to get attached to the CRC, to the transport block, and if necessary, it is going to do the segments the TB into the code blocks. So each code block can get its own CRC, that is a code block CRC, to allow the independent decoding and incremental redundancy over there. So the detailed TB segmentation and the CRC rules are there in specifically 38.212, which basically gives us the information of how the segmentation and the CRC are going to be carried out. So this segmentation is critical for the doing the LDPC coding over here. That is a large, whenever there is a large TB, so we need to understand what is the amount of BG that is going to be there in the LDPC. So it depends upon whether it is a BG1 or a BG2 that we are going to discuss when we will be discussing in detail about the LDPC over there. And then we are going to go for the analysis of or the effects that are going to be through the latency and the HARQ granularity over there. So this is about the CRC setup that is going to be there. So we are going to have the other one, that is the channel coding. That is what I mentioned was going to be through the LDPC, that is going to be used for the data channels, wherein the predominantly through PDSCH and PUSCH this has been transported, and the 5G is going to define the base graph, lifting size, and also the full LDPC machinery, what is going to be composed of the message passing, decoders, and usually the implementation part of that. So the coding part also covers, other than LDPC, the other one that is going to be the polar code that we have already discussed. So the LDPC is going to be used basically for the data part, whereas the polar part is the polar codes are being basically used for the control channels. So when it comes to this, the polar codes which are going to be mainly for the control channels, that is under PDCCH, PBCH, and some UCIs also comes under this. So because the polar is efficient at a short block length, this is being utilized for the control channels over there. So then comes the rate matching, that is the RM, which has been mentioned over here. This is the rate matching part. So rate matching, puncturing, shortening, and repetition maps the coded bits into the exact number of physical REs that is resource elements allocated to the scheduler, and all of these have been specified explicitly in 38.212. The standards that is going to define which channels uses the LDPC versus the polar over there. So then the CRC check, that is the TB and CB CRC is going to be carried out, wherein the the TB level CRC plus the per code block CRC, when the segmentation is used, this is going to be done, and are going to be used for the receiver that can detect errors per block and enable the HARQ combining of the correct block and the retransmission of the others. So then the data modulation parts comes into picture, wherein the coded bits are going to be mapped, and we are going to see some symbols over here, and this is through the multiple or the different, we can say, the different kind of modulation techniques which have been adapted in 5G NR, like the QPSK, QAM. In QAM, we are going to have 16 QAM, we are going to have 64 QAM, we are going to have a 256 QAM series. So these are going to be supported in the NR, depending on what is the MCS that is going to be there considered. So, and also it also depends upon another point is that EV capability, the user equipment capability is also very important in this case on selecting what type of modulation technique that has been adapted. So the modulation order is going to be selected by the MCS, by the scheduler in turn, and combined with the coding rate. Rate, it sets the spectral efficiency over there, and also the will be able to understand the symbol order, and also the mapping technique, and also the layers over there. So this has been the use of the different data modulation techniques over there. So when it comes to the layer mapping, pre-coding, and antenna mapping, that is what we can combinedly talk about the MIMO beamforming over here. So one of the key concepts of 5G NR, so the bits are going to be mapped to the transmission layer. Then we are going to have a special mapping that is a pre-coded for one or more antenna ports. So NR is going to basically support many MIMO pre-coding options, that it might be a single layer or a special multiplexing or a multiple TRP, the code book, non-code book, etc. This is going to be supported over there. So NR also integrates beam management, what we can call it as a SSB, CS, RS, SRS over there. That is, we already seen how the PDSCH has been integrated with SS, that block. So similarly, the SSB, we can say, then CSI, RS, then also the SRS, sounding reference signal, uh, are going to be integrated over there, so that the pre-coding can be adapted for the beamforming. So this has been like discussed in many reference models or the reference documents of 3GPP, that is right from 38.211, 38.214, and also 38.213 to some extent. And also the description about the high level NG RAN has been put forth over there. So similarly, like the resource mapping, which is going to be over here, that is the layer outputs are mapped into the resource elements within the physical resource block. What we call this as a PRB, or the OFDM symbols, the control regions, that is the using the PDCCH live in the configuration core set reference signals such as DMRS, PTRS, ESI, RS are going to be inserted as per the rules that have been mentioned in these documents, that is 38.211 and 38.214, to enable the channel estimation and the phase noise correction on the reception. So the NR mapping is highly flexible over here, such that we will be able to obtain the localization, and also the distributed allocation can be utilized over there, and also the core set is can be also done over here. So then the OFDM modulation, wherein we are going to have the IFFT CP at the receiver and the RFTX over there. So the time domain waveform is going to be generated by the OFDM modulation, that is CP OFDM for downlink over there, and Uplink uses either the uplink uses either the CPU OFDM or DFTS OFDM, that is DFT spread OFDM, we can say. So when transform precoding is enabled by uh, the PUSCH over here. So overall, like we will be able to understand the subcarrier spacing numerology, which we try to understand, that is through the equation, that is 15 kilohertz um, into 2 raised to n, and the waveform or CP parameters depend upon the numerology and the bandwidth by parts. So this is going to happen at the gNB side. So whatever is going to happen at the gNB side, the reverse process or the reverse order is going to be done at the receiver chain, that is over here. It is going to happen. And talking about some key things that is there over here is what we said over here is the OFDM IFFT, whereas at the other end it is going to be the OFDM FFT is going to be taken care of, and the resource demapping is going to be done, so that we'll be able to extract the PRB over here, and also understand the core set and PDCCH or PDSH resources. So over here, when we talk about the channel estimation, so the channel estimation is basically we are going to use the DMRS or PBCH DMRS or the CSIRS to build the equalizer coefficient. So DMRS and PTRS placements are going to be mentioned in 38.211 and 38.214. So then the MIMO precoder demapping and equalization is going to be carried out. Basically, we are going to use either the MMSE um, equalization technique, or else we are going to go for the zero forcing equalization or a successive um, SIC kind of equalization technique, depending upon the configurations over there. So when we are going to go for the transfer pre-coding, then are going to be used when we are going to have uplink transmission through DFTS OFDM is going to be utilized. So when we talk about the demodulation, the LLR generation, then the decoding is going to be carried out, wherein the LDPC iterative belief propagation is going to be carried out through the message passing for the data, whereas the polar SCL CRC aid for the control is going to be carried out at the uh, demodulation level or the decoding level. So the decoding complexity and the memory access pattern dominates the implementation cost. Specification is going to be given in the code construction and the rate matching, but not specific decoder microarchitecture has been mentioned in any of the documents of pre-GPP. So whereas the code block assembly and the CRC checks and the HARQ feedback, that is ACK, NACK or NAK, is mapped into the uh, PU CCH, PU SCH resources are going to be specified in these documents, that is 38.214 talks about that. So when we talk about this overall, uh, two things that we can think of is why do we go for LDPC and Polar over here as a choice for the data and for the control can be one of the things. So in the LDPC, that is where we are going to use the for the data in the PDSCH or the PUSCH, This is going to give us the excellent parallelism and the throughput for a long code words. Then this is going to be well suited for the high throughput base stations and parallelizable decoders, wherein the belief propagation is going to be utilized much. So the larger TBs are segmented into code blocks, and LDPC base graphs are going to be used over here. So this is the advantage of LDPC over there. So this has been utilized for the data. Whereas for the control, the polar has been utilized, that is within the PDCCH, PBCH, and PUCCH. Polar performs very well for the short block length and can be implemented with the CRC aid SCL decoding for a stronger reliability and the control channel size. So these are the two key things that have been differentiator in the 5G environment compared to that of the 4G over here. So this is how the complete main functions of 5G NR at the top level we can understand through this.